How's it going, guys? Cameron here is Canadian Gamer coming at you with another video. I've changed my production values a little bit here in my lighting. I've changed it around. The lights are at the back coming towards me. I think it looks a little bit better. You don't know how hard it is to put out these videos. I keep telling you guys, it's not so easy. I have to put the camcorder on a tripod. I have to set up the lighting. I got to get my audio system set up. This isn't just turning on an iPhone and hitting record, although I probably could do that. Anyways, a couple things I want to talk about here today. The main topic of conversation is we're going to talk about Metal Slug. Okay, so we'll get into that in just a moment. Do want to talk about Alpha Nerd Entertainment, our good old buddy. He finally put out his summer challenge, and for whatever reason, he has excluded tubing. Even though he said a couple of weeks ago he was going to include tubing. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but nonetheless, he has included the Need for Speed. So it looks like I've got some work cut out for me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Anyways, that's really not what we're here to discuss today. We're here to talk about Metal Slug. So recently, I picked up Metal Slug, the Anthology, for the Nintendo Wii. It's not CIB. I have some things I want to say about this. So, the first thing I want to say is, before I picked this up, basically give you an idea as how I was introduced to the game. The series, excuse me. So way back in the 90s, as I've mentioned before, the small town that I was living in had an arcade. It's really cool. We would go there after school. And you guys don't even know. Back in the day, arcade machines, if you wanted to play a game like Metal Slug, you had to put in 25 cents. You'd have to put in a quarter, a coin, if you will. And those were hard to come by when you're 12, 13, 14 years old. Some games cost 50 cents. Then you had Cruisin' USA, which came out around the same time as the original Metal Slug. That was $1, a loony. So very expensive game to play in the arcade. Only on the luckiest of days would I ask my parents, hey, can I have $1? And I'd go up and play Cruisin' USA for 5 minutes. And your dollar was gone. So the arcade we had, it had Cruisin' USA. And next to Cruisin' USA, I think it had Revolution X, the light gun game. And it had the original Metal Slug, which me and my buddy Chris would play. I was no good at it. He was better at it than me. Still, Metal Slug was a very difficult game. And if you wanted to beat this game in the arcade, you would have to go to the bank and get yourself a couple of rolls of quarters. So they would give you, whatever it was, like 50 quarters in a paper sleeve, okay? And then you would bring the rolls with you to the arcade. You guys, the younger generation, you wouldn't understand. But so that's where we were at with Metal Slug. Really cool arcade game. So it's hard for me to even fathom that you can pick up a collection like Metal Slug Anthology, which has the original 6 games on the disc. There's a caveat to that. We'll talk about it in just a minute. And to be able to just play this on your Nintendo Wii, it's actually kind of mind-blowing. Because like I said, back in the day, quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter. So really cool to be able to play this on the Nintendo Wii. So I've had my eyes on this collection for a while. And I want to say a couple of years ago, it really shot up in price. You go to a retro video game store, and oftentimes this would be one of the games that would be behind the glass cabinet. It would be $30, $40, $50. Well, I picked it up for $25. Crazy enough, this game came out on the PS3, and I believe it came out on the PS2 as well. But you want to know something? The best way to play this, in my humble opinion, would be to play it on the Wii. And the reason why is because when you're playing it on the Wii Wiimote, with this awesome D-pad and the 2 buttons, because the game is just a 2-button affair, the controller is just holding it backwards here. The controller is just perfect for Metal Slug. It feels fantastic. And the reason why I say that is because if you were playing Metal Slug on the PS2 or the PS3, or even the Xbox 360, we'll get to that later on in the video, you have a D-pad, or even if you're playing it on the modern consoles, you've got the D-pad, but you've also got the analog sticks. It just doesn't feel right. The D-pad on those systems doesn't really feel like this D-pad, is what I'm trying to say. You guys know what I'm talking about. So, anyways, I put on Metal Slug Anthology. I played every single game on the disc. I played the first one night, and then the next night I play the second one, and then I go on to the next one, and I go on to the next one. And this went on for like a week and a half. So a few things I want to say about this. So the first thing is no gameplay footage until the end. The original Metal Slug, it's a classic, obviously. You get unlimited continues in this version of the game, so you can play each one right through, and you're going to need unlimited continues if you want to get through it. So the first one is a classic, obviously, okay? The second game, Metal Slug 2, playing it on the Wii, it started to slow down quite a bit, and I'm like, what the hell? Because you could tell Metal Slug 2 is a better game than Metal Slug, but the slowdown actually ruins the experience. So it wasn't until after I looked it up online and I found out that that's the way that Metal Slug 2 was in the arcade. So it's like a 1-to-1 conversion of the arcade game with the original slowdown. And that's why the third game that was released in the arcades, Metal Slug X, is a revised version of Metal Slug 2, because back in the day we didn't have Wi-Fi and internet like we have today. You couldn't just go into the arcades and update the board, right? I don't even know if they do that now. I imagine they do. But when you play Metal Slug X, it's almost like a completely different game. The graphics have been completely overhauled, the backgrounds, everything. I played through it, and honestly, at some certain points, I felt like it was familiar. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the same boss from Metal Slug 2. But the game, a lot of it felt very different in a good way, and no more slowdown. So Metal Slug, the original, is the cult classic. Metal Slug 2 would be better than Metal Slug if it wasn't for the slowdown. And then Metal Slug X is better than Metal Slug 2 and better than the original Metal Slug. Now you get to Metal Slug 3, and I tell you guys, Metal Slug 3 is the best one out of the bunch. So you get I think there's 5 missions in Metal Slug 3. So you get through, they're really quick. You can get through each mission in about 10 minutes, right? So you get through mission 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you get to mission 5. And I don't know if it's just me, but when I was playing Metal Slug 3 and I got to mission 5, the 5th mission felt longer than missions 1 through 4 combined. The 5th mission felt like it took like a half hour to get through. Really long, and you're swimming and you're underwater and you're in a submarine and there's all kinds of stuff going on. So Metal Slug 3 is the pinnacle, is the peak of the franchise. Now, it's my understanding, correct me if I got this wrong, I think after Metal Slug 3, it wasn't SNK that was developing the Metal Slug games. But you can barely tell, because when you go into Metal Slug 4... Now, Metal Slug 4, it kind of felt like I had kind of been there, done that. I was starting to feel a little bit of fatigue. So Metal Slug 4 wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good as Metal Slug 2... Or, excuse me, Metal Slug X or Metal Slug 3. Then you get to Metal Slug 5, and it's really good. It has, like, heavy metal music. You can tell this at this point, the series has come, it's come along a couple of years. We're a couple of years into it, and the graphics and the special effects in Metal Slug 5 are better than I would say in the other games so far. So Metal Slug 5 was really good, but it wasn't. I don't think it was as good as Metal Slug 3. So then you play Metal Slug 6, and it was really good as well. But at that point, again, it kind of felt like Metal Slug 3 in a way, or excuse me, 4 in a way. It felt like the developers were a little bit fatigued, right? But it was good. It was good. It was short but sweet. So I got through it's just 6 games, right? But then you've got the revised Metal Slug 2, so it's like you're playing 7. Now there's a Metal Slug XX, okay, which is a revised version of Metal Slug 7 that came out on the Game Boy Advance. And I downloaded Metal Slug XX on my Xbox One. Now, crazy story. I go to download it, and it says it's 80% off, and it came to $1 Canadian. Okay, so I download it. And then instantly, I'm seeing the progression bar of the download. It's already at like from 0 to like 47%. And then it went back to 0, and then it started downloading again. And then I refreshed my dashboard on my Xbox, and poof! It was gone. It disappeared. Completely disappeared. I'm like, what the fuck? And I check my email, and I get the email from Microsoft saying that I've been charged $1. It's gone. Gone. So then I go back into the marketplace, and I go to check out Metal Slug XX, and now it's $3.99. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What the hell is this? So I had to buy it again. So it was like a dead link, or it was like an expired link that was still up on the dashboard, which allowed me to click it, and then I purchased it for $1, and then poof, it was gone. Now the thing is it's not worth my time to chase that $1, because the amount of time it would take for me to get that $1 back from these evil corporations, my personal time to get that $1 back is more valuable than the $1 itself. So I'm not gonna. I replied to the email. And I said, "Give me back my money," and there's no response. Right? You get the typical, you can't reply to this email. So just be aware, and not just with Metal Slug XX, but when you're downloading a lot of these legacy games, you better check it before you download it, because some of these links are very, very old or expired. So, anyways, I played through Metal Slug XX, which you can see here. A little bit of video I was able to capture. It's not bad. They went for more of a console experience, and it's no longer a 2-button affair. There's a second attack button and a second button for using another weapon, and there's all these other things you can do, and you can interact with the environments. But like I said, playing it on the Xbox One controller, Xbox Series controller, doesn't feel right. It does not feel right. It doesn't feel as good as using this. It just doesn't. It had force feedback rumble support as well, which was cool. Really good game. I'd be interested to see what it looks like on the Game Boy Advance. Again, it has the classic Metal Slug aesthetic. Graphics are as good as they've ever been. You can even parachute in the game as well. Lots of nifty little tricks and special effects in it. It was good. Very short. Not bad. It's too bad that it wasn't, I guess, included on the Anthology. But I wanted to play through Metal Slug XX so I could wrap this thing up and put a bow on it. So, what are my final thoughts on Metal Slug? So I would say, if you are interested in getting Metal Slug, the games are available on the marketplace on PS4 and PS5 and Xbox Series X. Don't do that. Go out and get the Anthology, and if you can, get it for the Wii, so you can play it with the Wii mode. Honestly, it's a game changer. You could technically hook this up to a CRT and play it that way as well, and you won't have the input lag, because again, this is a run and gun affair, right? So that's what I would do. Get it for the Wii. If you can't get it for the Wii, because not everybody has the ability to set up the Wii with the connectivity bar and all the rest of it. If you can't get it for the Wii, hey, maybe get it for the PS2 and hook it up to a CRT that way if you can. Or get it for the PS3. I don't believe it was released on the Xbox 360. But yeah, it's good. And honestly, this could very well be the greatest compilation of all time. It is. It's fantastic. You're getting basically 7 Metal Slug games on the disc. And they all run pretty well flawlessly. Right off the disc, you don't have to install anything. And I had a lot of fun playing it. I absolutely did. Oh, one other thing about Metal Slug XX. So the difficulty. So as you know, these games are notoriously difficult. On Metal Slug XX, you get the option if you want to play it on easy, normal, or hard. I put it on easy, and it was actually like way too easy. I got through the first mission almost all the way through without dying. So I'm like, that's not right for a Metal Slug game. So then I put it on the medium difficulty, and it ratcheted it up quite a bit, right? And then I flipped it on to hard, and it felt like the original arcade experience on hard. So if you're going to play Metal Slug XX, don't fuck around with easy. You get unlimited continues anyways. Just play it on the regular medium difficulty or play it on hard. Because otherwise it's just not, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. But anyways, talking too much here. I really enjoyed Metal Slug Anthology. It's one of the best anthologies ever released. It's a damn shame that we haven't received a modern release of this on the Nintendo Switch and the modern consoles as well. I really enjoyed my time with Metal Slug Anthology, and it blows my mind, like I said, that I can sit and play these games without having to put a quarter in the arcade machine. I'm telling you, if you wanted to beat one of these games in the arcade, you could, but you would need rolls of quarters to do it. So and then after it's all said and done, you've probably spent close to $50, $60, $70 worth of quarters to beat this game. Anyways, the next thing we're going to tackle here is the Need for Speed Summer Challenge! I'm going to cut it off there right at the 16-minute mark. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a good night.